There's a version of you that you never met, a life you never lived, a path you almost took, but didn't, and somehow it still echoes through your mind. What if I told you the things you didn't do, the words you never said, the chances you never took, are shaping your life right now? Not because you failed, but because deep inside your mind, you're haunted by possibilities, by what could have been, by a ghost of yourself that never became real. You smile in public, but somewhere you wonder if you missed something important. You love the people around you, but feel an invisible emptiness. You succeed, but still feel unsatisfied. This isn't just nostalgia. It's not weakness. It's not indecision. It's regret, but not in the way you think. You're not mourning the past. You're mourning the you that never got the chance to exist. And here's the most chilling part. This unlived version of you is quietly running your life. Through your fears, your hesitations, your unexplained sadness, your self-doubt. In this video, we are going to explore this hidden side of the mind. We'll journey through the regrets you've buried, the beliefs they planted, and how they silently control your choices, even now. Because the biggest force holding you back may not be what happened, it's what didn't. We think of regret as a simple feeling, a moment of guilt, a fleeting thought of, I should have done that differently. But regret is not simple. It's not small. It's one of the most powerful emotional programs running silently in the subconscious mind. You see, regret isn't just about the past. It's about identity. It rewires the way you see yourself. When you regret something, a decision, a path, a person you lost, your mind doesn't just remember that pain. It reconstructs who you are around it. It builds a story. I'm not brave enough. I'm always late. I mess things up. I don't deserve second chances. And here's where it gets dark. Your brain believes those stories. It starts using regret as a filter. Every opportunity, every relationship, every dream passes through the lens of that old wound. Why try again? You already failed before. Why trust someone? You got hurt the last time. Why speak up? No one listened then either. Regret becomes a quiet dictator. Not loud, not obvious, but relentless. It doesn't scream. It whispers. All day. Every day. And soon, your decisions aren't really yours anymore. They're just echoes of a moment that passed long ago. A moment you never truly let go. This is why some people repeat the same relationship with different faces. Why some sabotage their own success. Why some stay quiet when their soul is screaming to speak. Because regret isn't just a feeling, it's a program. And until you bring it into the light, it continues to run your life from the shadows. You think you're in control, don't you? That the choices you make each day are based on logic, willpower, intention. You plan. You decide. You act. But what if I told you? Most of your decisions are reactions, not creations. Because deep in your subconscious, your past is still alive, and it's quietly scripting your future. The brain craves familiarity, even if it's painful, even if it's toxic. That's why people end up in the same kind of relationship, even when they swear they want something different. It's why some chase money, then sabotage it. Why others seek love, but push it away. Why some fight for freedom, but always choose the same invisible cage. You think you're choosing, but you're just following an old emotional GPS, one that was programmed years ago. Your brain says, this feels familiar, this feels safe, this is who I am. So when a new path appears, one that requires change, risk, growth, the mind resists. It triggers anxiety. It whispers, what if you fail again? What if they leave again? What if you're not enough? And suddenly, you're back where you started. Different day. Same pattern. This is the illusion of control. The lie your brain tells to keep you safe, even if safe means stuck. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're running an ancient code, and unless that code is rewritten, the loop never ends. So the real question is not, why do I keep ending up here? The real question is, who taught me to believe this was all I deserved? Picture this: a child, barely able to speak, absorbing the world like a sponge, not just with their eyes and ears, but with their heart. Every tone of voice, every glance, every argument behind closed doors, every moment of silence becomes a lesson, not spoken, but felt. And the brain, still forming, asks, what do I need to be? To be safe? To be loved? To be accepted? This is where the programming begins. Not in adulthood, but in the tiny, helpless moments of childhood. When a parent lashes out in anger, the child doesn't think, they're overwhelmed. They think, I must be bad. When love is inconsistent, the child doesn't question the giver. They question their own worth. And when a child grows up in chaos, they learn to equate anxiety with normal. That tension is love. That silence is safety. That pain is deserved. And these beliefs, they don't vanish with age. They evolve. That little boy becomes a man who can't trust anyone. That little girl becomes a woman who feels invisible in a room full of people. All because their subconscious mind locked in lessons from people who were hurting too. And this is the cruel twist. Most of those caregivers never meant harm. They were repeating their own programming, unaware, unhealed, unconscious. So, generation after generation, pain is passed down like an inheritance until someone breaks the chain. That someone could be you. But first, you have to understand what's been running your life. The echoes, the ghosts, the invisible beliefs you never chose, but still obey. It's not your adult self that's reacting. It's the wounded child behind the curtain. And healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means facing, feeling, repenting. Because when you give that inner child the love, safety, and voice they never had, you don't just heal the past, you rewrite the future. Even after childhood ends, you're still not free. Just when you think you're beginning to think for yourself, another set of strings attaches. Not from your family this time, but from everywhere else. Society, culture, religion, media, peers. The invisible hands you never see, yet they guide every step you take. They tell you what beauty is, what success looks like, what kind of life you should want, who you should love, what you should fear. And if you disobey, you're labeled, mocked, punished, cast out. We call it normal, but it's just another program. And most people never question it, because questioning means risking everything: belonging, security, identity. They don't want you to question. They want you to obey, to follow the script, the life plan already written for you before you even had a voice. Go to school, get a job, get married, buy things, stay quiet, fit in, be liked. But deep inside you, a part of you whispers, this isn't who I really am. That voice, that whisper, that's your real self, the unprogrammed self, the part of you they've been trying to silence since the day you were born. The question is, are you listening? Because if you don't, you'll live a life of someone else's making, chasing dreams that were never yours, fighting battles you didn't start, and carrying burdens that were never meant for you. And here's the terrifying part. You'll think it was your choice. That's how deep the control goes. They make you believe you're free, while holding the strings the entire time. But once you see it, once you become aware of the game, the spell breaks. You can begin to cut the strings, one by one, not to rebel blindly, but to choose consciously, to think for yourself, to feel for yourself, to live for yourself. That is true freedom, not the absence of control, but the presence of awareness. You can't escape the world, but you can escape the illusion. You wake up, choose your clothes, decide what to eat, scroll, click, work, rest. You call it your routine. You think it's all your choice. But what if I told you most of your decisions are pre-decided? Not by fate, but by patterns so old you don't even notice them anymore. Neurologists estimate that up to 95% of your behavior is unconscious, driven by habit, triggered by memory, manipulated by environment. And still, you feel in control. That's the trick. That's the illusion. The mind doesn't just lie to others, it lies to you. When you avoid that difficult conversation, you call it timing. When you sabotage that new relationship, you tell yourself it wasn't meant to be. But underneath, it's fear, wounds, old programming pulling the strings. Ever notice how you keep dating the same kind of person? Keep sabotaging opportunities just as things start getting good? Keep feeling not enough, even after winning. That's not coincidence. It's repetition. It's your subconscious playing out the same script over and over because it's familiar. And the brain? It craves the familiar, even if it hurts. You don't choose your thoughts. You react to them. You don't choose your emotions. You manage them. And most of the time, they manage you. So, are you really in charge? Or just following the illusion of choice? Inside a maze you never realized you were trapped in. But there's hope. Because the first step to power is seeing the illusion. Once you see the strings, you can untangle them. You can learn to pause, to question the thought, to break the pattern. Awareness is your weapon, and your freedom starts the moment you stop assuming you're already free. You've seen the strings now, the patterns, the silent codes that run your life beneath the surface. So now the question is, can they be broken? Yes, but not by force, not overnight, and not with willpower alone. The mind protects its programs. It doesn't like change. It fears uncertainty more than pain. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, identities that no longer fit. So to break the pattern, you don't need more effort. You need more awareness. Start here. When something triggers you, don't react. Pause. Feel. Ask yourself, what does this remind me of? Because most emotional reactions aren't about the present. They're echoes of the past. Old wounds, disguised as new problems. Next, journal your recurring emotions. What do you feel most often? Anger, shame, fear. That emotion is a compass, pointing straight to the original wound. Then, challenge your narratives. I'm not good enough. I always ruin things. No one truly loves me. Whose voice is that? Where did you learn that? Because no child is born broken, but every child is shaped by what they experience and what they lack. And finally, practice presence. The subconscious lives in the past. Healing begins in the present. Every time you catch a pattern in motion and pause, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your patterns. You are the awareness behind it all. The observer, the consciousness, the one who now sees. And in seeing, you've already begun to wake up. You've started waking up, noticing the patterns, feeling the shifts. You're changing, finally. But then, something strange happens. You suddenly feel tired, irritated. You forget your progress. You lash out, or fall back into old habits. It feels like self-sabotage, like part of you is working against your healing, and that's exactly what's happening. This is the resistance. It's the part of your subconscious that sees change as a threat. Because for your mind, what's familiar is safe, even if it's painful. When you try to break free, your mind pulls out its oldest weapons: doubt, fear, shame, distraction. It whispers, "You'll never change. This is just how you are. You've come too far to turn back now." And you begin to believe it, not because it's true, but because it's comfortable. You must understand, the mind is not evil, it is protective, even when it protects the prison. It built these patterns to help you survive, to help you not feel, to keep the chaos outside from getting inside. But now, those same walls are keeping you from living, from feeling joy, from experiencing peace. So the resistance isn't proof that you're broken, it's proof that you're healing. Every time you feel the pull to go back, pause. Name it. Welcome it. Because the resistance isn't your enemy, it's your younger self. Afraid. Still guarding the wound. Still waiting for you to say, "It's okay now. You can rest." You don't push through resistance. You listen to it. Learn from it. And then, lovingly move past it. That's how you begin to make peace, not war, with your own mind. You've seen the prison. You've felt the chains. You've met the resistance. Now, it's time to rewrite the script. Because every belief you hold, every fear, every identity you cling to, it was written once, and it can be written again. The first step: conscious awareness. Noticing the voice inside that says, "I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. People always leave." You don't argue with it. You don't suppress it. You simply notice it. Awareness is the light that begins to burn away the shadows, because the subconscious loses power when it's brought into the conscious mind. Then you ask, whose voice is that? A parent? A teacher? A bully? An experience that happened when you were too young to understand it. You question the origin of the belief, and suddenly, it begins to loosen. Now, you write the new script, but not with fake positivity, not with empty affirmations. You write it with truth. Not, "I am perfect," but "I am learning to love myself as I am." Not, "I have no fear," but "I can feel fear and still move forward." Not, "I never fail," but "my mistakes do not define me." The new beliefs must feel real, authentic, safe enough for your subconscious to accept. You repeat the new script daily. You visualize it. You feel it. You act as if it's already true. Because the subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition, emotion, imagery. And the more often you show it a new story, the more it believes it. This is how you reprogram your mind, gently, lovingly, deliberately. You don't force your way out of the old identity. You outgrow it, and like a snake shedding its skin, you rise into someone new. You've done the work, you've seen the programs, you've rewritten the script. But now comes the real test: living unprogrammed in a programmed world. Because the world doesn't change just because you do. It still pushes, it still tempts, it still tries to pull you back into the old pattern. People may not like the new you, the one who sets boundaries, the one who doesn't need validation, the one who sees through the manipulation. Because when you break free, you stop playing roles that kept others comfortable. You were the peacemaker, the helper, the quiet one, the strong one, the fixer. But now, you are you, and the world won't always reward that. This is where most fall back. They crave belonging more than freedom. They'd rather stay asleep in comfort than wake up in solitude. But you've come too far. You've seen too much. To live unprogrammed means choosing awareness every single day. Noticing when the old thoughts return. Noticing when you shrink again to fit. And gently, lovingly, choosing a different response. It means protecting your energy. It means surrounding yourself with truth, not noise. It means honoring your emotions, not escaping them. This isn't a destination. It's a path, a way of walking through life, awake, aligned, and unafraid. You'll still stumble, you'll still forget them. But the difference now is you'll remember faster, recover quicker, and rise higher. Living unprogrammed isn't easy, but it's real. And in a world full of illusions, that makes you unstoppable. Take a breath. Really, right now, take a deep breath. Let it go slowly. Look back, not just at this video, but at yourself. At the person who started this journey. Confused, exhausted, stuck, haunted by patterns they didn't understand. That version of you didn't know there was a silent program underneath everything. Didn't know that every thought, every fear, every self-sabotage wasn't you, it was conditioning. But now you know. You've seen the strings. You've seen the maze. You've stared into the subconscious and said, I see you, but you don't own me anymore. That's not just insight. That's rebirth. You are not broken. You were never broken. You were coded, trained, shaped by invisible hands. But now, those hands no longer hold you. You are becoming someone new. Someone more you than you've ever been. A version of yourself unshackled by trauma, unmoved by others' expectations, and unafraid to stand alone. The work is not over. It never is. But now you walk it with eyes open, with awareness, with power. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of your real life. Not the one they programmed, not the one you survived, but the one you choose. The strings are cut. The mind is yours again. And for the first time, so is your future.